SWFTCoin, coin of the day. Why? It's up 2x just today. Where will it end? Who knows? Let's look at it. We're going to start off on the weekly chart to look at the macro kind of picture and why the hell could this have happened? Could we have predicted this? Of course. Watch any of the previous SWFTCoin videos that I've put out over the past couple of weeks. This is a little bit too obvious. So we're going to start off on the weekly, look at some levels. Where could we possibly buy more? If we sold here, should we have sold? Should we have taken profit or let it run? Well, it depends on your time frame, but we're also going to zoom into the daily and look at kind of the more micro scale and what to focus on next. If you want more content on a daily basis, Bitcoin, altcoins, consider joining our silver group in our Patreon, link below, and I'm in there every day. Multiple videos to help you out. All right. SWFTCoin weekly. After a March 2024 top, we revisited it many times. Rejection, become resistance right here in June. Back down, regather ourselves, breakthrough to the lid line, and then what do we see here? What is this? This is called a throwback, a bullish retest. On the weekly chart, that's about as textbook bull as you can get. Certainly if you hold it, which we did, coincidentally, at the EMA 8, which is your uppermost moving average that I track. Held it for a month straight at the previous range highs. Throwback, successful. Bulls are here. Bulls show up. This is typical. This is not shocking based on this setup. Go watch my last Caspa video, which I just put out this week, or the one before that. This is set up for this. This is not shocking. This is not news driven, although it might be, but like when you have textbook setups, and I mean textbook, there's not many coins that have this proper of a structure. Like this is exactly what you get. More times than not. Not always, but played out pretty damn good. And why are we showing hesitation here so far? Well, earlier in the day, if you've been watching this all day, we showed some hesitation around this one level, right? The previous range high wick. Taking some profit here is always a good idea because you don't know how high it's going. Just like back here, right? When you get back to highs or even close to it, previous high, new high, about match. Taking like 10% off just to pay yourself, right? You're in profit. You're already up 60, 70% here. Don't be silly. You still have some more in if it keeps running, but then you take more profit as you get closer to the next fib level for sure, right? We got close. Fibonacci levels of areas of interest. They're not to be taken as stone cold levels, right? We could very well get there today. Maybe next week. Based on this, I would say this is probably just starting. Now, could we come back down again to the EMA 8? Yeah, we just did. Go back to previous moves. Like, where does it hold? Like, there's the EMA 8, move back, couple weeks, bounce again, move back down. We went to EMA 14, the purple line, massive bounce again. Couple weeks later, come back down, right to the EMA 8, bounce again. This one was a little bit longer because we were just, I mean, look how the move here, right? If you get sustainable moves like that, it's oftentimes not sustainable for the long period, which is why we consolidated for, 6-7 months here before starting potentially a new move. Like a fractal of this, we could just be in this area before this comes, right? Let's look at how high this could possibly go. So our 1618's almost already been hit already. We were just 10x lower a month, 2 months ago. You could have made it like a 10x in the past 2 months on just this coin. Now, having said that, how high could we go? Well, the market cap allows it to go much higher. But here's your Fibonacci extension levels. So far, so good. Right? It's been pretty close. We'll see how this respects it. If we go higher, like our next level is just shy of 8 cents, maybe like 7.5, something like that. 7, 8. Then we have 30 cents. Are we going to get up there? Probably a tall tale. But it depends on how much power it's got. So far, the power is pretty impressive. I would guess, if I had to predict right now off the top of my head, I would say somewhere between 8 to 10 cents for a macro top, given how fast it's going now. I would think at least another 5 to 10x. That's pretty impressive after a breakout, but the setup is what allows me to say that, and not, a moon boy prediction. Look at the chart. If you get textbook bullish setups, you get beyond textbook bullish moves. Big move here, come back down, reload. We're very likely starting our new move of something in this area, right? So not saying that it has to repeat exactly, but I think we're far from over for this run. But, last time we did a move even similar to this. There's a weekly 135% candle. So far this week, we're at 125, but we were actually higher than that. So we'll see where we close the week. That'll be important. Are we going to close back under the 1? Possibly. But we've just visited new highs, right? So wait for the weekly close, and then we can zoom in to the daily. And maybe we don't wait for the EMA 8 on the weekly to wait for a throwback, but maybe we look at the daily, because, the weekly EMA 8's way the hell down there. Now at 8.5 cents. Excuse me, 8,500. We'll just call it 8,500, right? You wish it was 8.5 cents already. Maybe you'd be out. Okay, so you see that the red number is what I'm looking at here, the EMA 8. I know it's a little bit difficult to see here, but that's like all the way back at the 382 here. We're slightly above that now. So if we don't anticipate it going back down there this week, then, or next week, right? Maybe we have to zoom into the daily and look for like an EMA 8, right? It could very well bounce there. So the EMA 8 right now is almost at a penny, right? 9,500 area, but rising quite rapidly. So I would say, depending on if you took profit or not, like where do you start to reinvest your profit? My personal preference is to kind of ladder in after every 10% or so drop. So say you got 1,000 in and you sold $100 worth. You sold 10% here. So maybe you do, of that $100 that you just now have profit on, maybe you do 25% on a 10% drop. So you'd already be back in a little bit, right? 10%, or maybe you wait for 20%. You just have some kind of a system in place and follow your system. So 10% drop, you put in another 25% of your initial 100 that you just made, right? You still have 90% in this, but when you take profits, how do you know when to get back in, right? Because this could keep going, and you still have some in just in case of that. But every 10% that you drop, 10 to 15%, depending on how massive this move is, you start to ladder back in just in case, right? So if you took profit here, your initial 10%. You would add 100, and now you have another 100, right? So you have like 200 in cash if you took some out at the earlier this morning, right? And if it goes up more, you take some more out. And then you start to ladder back in every 10% or so of a sell-off. You don't want to be too greedy, because you don't know how high this is going to go. Like, what if you're here? What if you're here? What if we wake up tomorrow and it does another one of these? You don't know. So every 10% or so that it sells off, this is just kind of what I do. If you're looking to take local profits, right? You don't want to be too greedy and say, "Oh, I'm waiting until we come back down here." Why do you think we're going there? Like, why can't this just go back to here, or this could be the end here, and then we nuke up again tomorrow, right? Nobody knows. Get a system, follow it. This is kind of what we try to help you with in the silver group. So again, if you're scratching your head here or wondering, like, I got to take more advantage of things like this, get it in the group. Try it for a month, and I think you'll be well surprised of how much extra stuff you get in there to help you kind of teach you little things like this, okay? I've been in crypto 8 years. I'm a level 1 chartered market technician. I can help you out. I have hundreds of hours of structured teachings to my name. Okay. Not to mention like 8 years of day in, day out of this, right? Okay. So as we speak, like, we're still dropping, which is, expected when you have these giant candles. Come on, folks. You can't expect them to go up forever. So smart money taking some profits, realizing like, holy shit, this might not be sustainable. Maybe I should capitalize on my gains, right? Unless you're long-term. And like, I think Swift's going to, 8 cents in the macro, and I'm not selling till then. Okay, that's fine. We just don't have your emotions out when you start to sell off. You're like, I should have sold. No, stop it. You have your plan. You're not getting out till 8 cents. So who cares, right? This is just a good power move on your way to your epic journey up there, okay? All right, so that's kind of just Cliff's Notes version of what's going on here. Epic breakout, great. And as to be expected, right? Look at that weekly structure. It's great to see. And that's what you get after these textbook setups. All right, we'll see where SWFTCoin ends up the week. We got 2 days, 4 hours. We'll see how this plays out. Let's take a look at the monthly if you're still here with me. It looks to me like we're just getting started. Nice little move. I mean, look at the cup and handle here. It's like a textbook. Whoop. Down. Now, just FYI, you don't want your handle going down below 50% of that move, right? From the bottom to the high. If your handle goes down, it's no longer cup and handle. But that's like pretty textbook right there, right? Yeah, that's pretty good. Great bullish pattern. All right, I'll stop my rambling. Okay, quote and card of the day. Holy hell. January 24th. That's today. As of recording. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. What the hell does that mean? I'm glad you asked. Everyone goes through shit. It's what you do after the shit that determines how your life goes. Everyone has a headwind. Everyone's got their problems. How you handle them determines where you're going. I'll go with that. Card of the day, week, month, year, decade, millennia. Any guesses? If I had Monopoly money, I think I'd be having to get one of these. The McLaren W1. The new hypercar. Beyond supercar. We're not calling it supercar. This is beyond that. If it has $1 million plus price tag, it's now a hypercar. If you didn't know, now you know. The body lines on this, the engineering behind this is next level. I love it. What did this replace? The McLaren P1. What did the P1 replace? F1? Let's go with that. Maybe some subtle foreshadowing in there. Look at the taillight. It's like built into the body. That is so cool. And how like the body line goes along with the active, right? If you didn't know, like this is active spoiler. So depending on how fast you go, this raises up and changes function. If you start braking, it like goes straight up to help you brake. Absolutely insane. Can't wait to see one of these in real life. There you go. There's your picture of the decade. McLaren F1, the first supercar, hypercar. The P1. And the new W1. Successors. All right. Have a great weekend. SWFTCoin certainly have a great Friday. Hopefully you are.